Welcome back to my channel, Teaching Learning English. As you know, we have been talking about IELTS practice and what are the tricks and what are the tricks and strategies that students can adopt while facing the IELTS test. Is one very important, one of the very important aspect. Even though you have to go through the practice, hard work, and so many things, and your backgrounds of English language also plays a very vital role for the better performance in IELTS. Today I have a book over here. Look at. I'm going to show you. The book is by Cambridge English. So this is the book, IELTS book, and here you have IELTS Academics. So the book number is 12, IELTS 12, and it is published by look at Cambridge University Press and Cambridge English Language Assessment. So this is the official and very important practice book, even though you will not have any questions from this book, but what we can say that these books are the samples and examples through which you can make your English, let's say the IELTS test more relevant, and you will feel kind of confident, and you will develop some of the strategies. It will be a better exposure for your learnings. So look at this book, and here what are the major things in this book. Today I'm going to give you the summary, the basic formats, let's say outlook of this book. This is the official book, and I really recommend all the practitioners who are going to face the IELTS test. They have to actually practice a lot for their test. Let me tell you something from here. For example, there are altogether, we have, how many tests are there? It says that there are test 5, 6, 7, 8. So it starts from test 5. It means what we need to understand is, there are from 1 to 4 tests are in grade, let's say IELTS book 11. And here we have, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 tests are here. And in the very beginning, if I say, look at, there is obviously the listening test. And in test 5, in listening, we have altogether 4 sections. First one, which is always about the conversation, and it is about everyday, subject matter. Everyday English. So most of the time, conversation with the people at the hospitals, to get the admission for the patient, and at the college, at the sports centers, in the market, and about the some information. So people are communicating with each other, and most of the time there is telephone conversation also over here in section 1. So here we have altogether 1 to 10 questions. Each question has the one mark, and it looks like something like this. Please look at. So this is the first one. So look at it. This is the exact the question, and you have the, let's say, the audio on the basis of which you are going to respond to the questions. For example, let me read out some of the some small portion. Let's say section 1 also. I can do for that for you. For example, here you have. let me tell you. Here is the conversation between. It's about family excursion. The people really want to go out and have some sort of entertainment and excursions. So it may be a kind of conversation in the telephones or something like that. So let me read out what is going on over here. Okay. So it's TC employee. Hi, can I help you? Visitor says, I'd like to find out if you have any excursions suitable for families. Then employee says, sure. How about taking your family for a cruise? We have a steamship that takes passengers out several times a day. It's over 100 years old. The visitor says, that sounds interesting. How long is the trip? About an hour and a half. And don't forget to take pictures of the mountains. They are all around you when you are on the boat. and they look fantastic. Okay, and I assume there is a cafe or something on board. So, how old are your children? My children 15 and my son 7. Right, well, there are various things you can do once you have crossed the lake. To make a day of it, one thing that's very popular is a visit to the country farm. You are made off the boat by the farmers, and he will take you to the welding pens where the sheep are kept. Children love feeding them. My son would love that. He really likes animals. Well, there is also a 40-minute trek around the farm on a horse, if he wants. Do you think he would manage it? He hasn't done that before, sure. It's suitable for complete beginner. Oh, good. And again, visitors are welcome to explore the farm on their own as long as they take care to close gates and so on. There are some very beautiful gardens along the sides of the lake which also belong to the farm. They will be just at their best now. You could easily spend an hour or two there. Okay, well, that all sounds good. And we can get lunch there. You can, and it's very good, though it's not included in the basic cost. You pay when you get there, right? Okay, so in this way, we have the text. This is the audio text, and there is a conversation between the employee and visitors. And visitor is looking for the, some sort of exertions in the family for the families, and they are talking about the, their kids, how how old are they, because it depends on what type of exercise they really want to have. And they are talking about the mountains, pictures of mountains and sheep, and the other things which are very interesting for the kids. So that way there are the questions, and then we have section 2. It's 11 to 20. And it's about talk to new kitchen assistant. Here you don't have the conversation, you have the monologue. The person is talking about a topic, for example, talk to new kitchen assistant, and what are the features, what are the problems, challenges, and those things are there. So you will have the questions from let's say 11 to 20, obviously. Another important thing is what we say often is, the subject matter, the content over here, even though this is monologue, but again, the subject matters are from the, let's say, everyday subject matters, not very specific based on these particular, trainings or educations. That is another important thing you need to understand. Then let's move to the section 3. It is all about, always about the very specific topic. That most of the time is of education, and most of the time you have a professor over there and who is in discussion with his students, and they are talking about some research programs, some project work, something like that, and this is a very beautiful discussion. And since the topic is academic and all about the training, so students most of the time, or let's say candidate, they have a kind of confusions, and they feel difficulty when they go through the section 3. So you will have the questions from 31 to 40 over here, and obviously look at, if you really want to see the examples from this book, I'm talking about the test 5, it means the first test, and here you have paper on public libraries. So that is one topic, and study of local library, possible questions. So those things are there. So it's all about the libraries, papers, writing. So it means, advanced level of subject matter that is discussed actually among the scholars, let's say, the university students and the professors. That is. And after that, there is the last sections. We often say that this is the really tough sections. Most of my students to whom I have been assisting for their IELTS practice, what they say is, Some of them say that section 3 is more difficult, much difficult in comparison to others, and some of them say that section 4. But it depends on. If you technically ask me which section is more difficult, which one do you think difficult? And I obviously say that section 3. For me, technically, I think that section 3 is more complex and advanced in comparison to other sections. But some of the candidates and other scholars, they say that section 4 is also equally, problematic, and it is very difficult to generate the ideas and to solve the questions, because you will not have the information is in first sections and second section, actually in the fourth sections. So here what you have is you have the piece of lecture by the professors. It may be about any topic. Don't worry if you are from English literature and you really would like to listen about Shakespeare, John Milton, or other poets. Let's say about so many other literary figures, but it is not the case. Whatever the topic of discussion, topic of lecture is, it doesn't matter. It may be either from nursing, engineering, science, literature, management, whatever area. But the thing is, you are not going to actually explore, analyze, or criticize the knowledge that is given in that area. What you are going to practice to answer the questions from the language point of view only. That is the comprehension point of view. So here we have, obviously, as I said, that there is only one speaker, that is the professor in the university, and who delivers the speech about a topic, about any subject matter that he teaches, and on the basis of which there are questions from 11 to 40, and you have to answer those questions. Here, if you ask here, look at, we have the section 4, something like that. This, look at, this is the all about the section 4. So here we have 4 business values. The professor is from management background, and he is assisting his students from 4 business values. What are the 4 business values? He is delivering his lecture about 4 business values, and actually your job is to listen to him and try to generate, understand the meaning, analyze, and sometimes the exact information what is required by the question may not be over there. It's your job to derive, actually, how we can say that, to make it fix for your question. So while summarizing all about the listening test, what you need to do is, in the first sections and second section, most of the time, the piece of information which are compatible to the questions. So what you can do, you pick up the information, you pick up the words and numbers, and you put there. So most of the students, the candidates, they think that section 1 and 2 are comparatively easier than the 3 and 4. What happens? Let me tell you some suggestions. How you can actually improve your IELTS test. What happens in section 3 and 4 is, actually what we say. There is the audio, but the thing is, the information required in the questions are not directly given there. For example, you are not going to write the long paragraphs or sentences in IELTS listening. IELTS listening is, most of the cases, 100% it's objective test. What you are going to do is, you are going to write some answers, tick the best answers, fill in the gaps, whatever you do. The maximum length of answer is either 3 number or words. So maybe 1 word, 1 number, 2 words, 2 number, or 3 words, 3 numbers. So that is the maximum length of your response. So what I was trying to say over here to suggest to you is, in section 3 and 4, the piece of information, the information given in the audio are not directly compatible to the question. It's your job. You have to comprehend that information and you have to respond on the basis of that information. Majority of the students, they say that, there is no answer in the audio. No, it is not. It is there. But it's your job to comprehend it, to analyze it, and to understand it and respond. So if you practice for that way for many times, then I hope, and I am pretty sure that you can do better. in your IELTS test. So in this way, I have talked about all 4 sections and 40 questions and the status that you are going to adopt also. So, my dear, viewers, audience, what you can do to improve your listening, ability or skills, you can listen any kind of text. It may be a song, it may be a discussion, it may be an interview or TV show, whatever you actually exposed with, that will obviously help your, listening ability and skills. So these are the things, and I often would like to recommend you 3 types of practice that you have to go through for the improvements of your listening skills. For example, number 1 is free practice. Any kind of audio, any kind of subject matters, video, you can watch, you can listen, and you improve your English understanding ability. And while doing that, please focus on the connected words, because in English, all the words are not pronounced separately, and they are not pronounced with the equal stress and energy. Some of them are collapsed, and some of them are pronounced in a little bit different way when people naturally speak and they deliver their speeches. Okay, well, I hope this is somehow useful and beneficial for you. And if you have any comments and feedback, you can actually directly ask me, and we can make this platform beautiful to practice and to learn English language. Thank you very much. Have a good time. See you.